Clash of Champions is less than a week away, and Raw is in Madison Square Garden for the first time in years. Add in the return of Monday Night Football, and you can be certain the WWE will be pulling out all the stops to put on a spectacular episode of Monday Night Raw. But did they deliver? Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the good, the bad, and the damn right ugly from the 9th September 2019 edition of Monday Night Raw. Raw is coming to you from the mecca of professional wrestling, New York City's Madison Square Garden. Renee Young, Michael Cole and Corey Graves are here to call the action. The show starts off with the sound of shattered glass as Stone Cold Steve Austin makes his way down to the ring to mediate tonight's Universal Championship title match contract signing. Austin recalls some of his favourite memories from his time in the ring at Madison Square Garden. Challenger Braun Strowman comes out first and goes to shake Austin's hand, but Austin ignores him. Insert a failed get these hands joke right here. Universal Champion Seth Rollins enters and Austin then shakes both men's hands. Braun tells Seth he likes being Tag Team Champion, but he's going to love being Universal Champion. Like that's ever gonna happen. The OC decide to crash the festivities with AJ mocking Austin's age and presence in the ring. Styles says Anderson and Gallows deserve a tag team title shot tonight, but things quickly break down as the OC enter the ring, but the tag team champions make short work of them before Austin delivers a stunner to Styles. This immediately leads into the first match of the night though, as Cedric Alexander takes on AJ Styles in a non-title match. AJ is still hot from being humiliated by Stone Cold, and he tries to take his frustrations out on Cedric. However, Cedric isn't playing punching bag tonight and gives as good as he gets, leading to Anderson and Gallows interfering, leading to a disqualification and a win by Cedric. However, it's not over yet, as it looks like hard times for Cedric as Anderson and Gallows administer a post-match beatdown. But the OC's attack is cut short thanks to the Viking Raiders making the save and Anderson taking the quote-unquote Viking experience. Leukemia survivor Roman Reigns comes out to promote Cancer Awareness Month. The big dog recalls his own battle last year when his leukemia returned, but thanks to the fans' support, he was able to battle it successfully. Reigns introduces a group of local cancer survivors and encourages the fans to support Connor's cure. The next match is Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair team up to face SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley and Sasha Banks. These four superstars were once the group known as the Four Horsewomen, but now they're pitted against each other in a dream tag team match. Lynch and Flair attack Bayley and Banks on the entrance ramp before the match starts, and it's all action from there on with all four women being down at one point, and the match looking like it might be a double countout. Ultimately, Charlotte counters a Bayley roll-up, with Flair landing the natural selection and covering Bayley for the win. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair win, with a clean win at that. The next matchup of the night is Lucha action, as Gran Metalik goes up against Rey Mysterio. Now, following his decision to stay in the game until he can pass the torch to his son Dominic, Rey seems reinvigorated, defeating this Lucha House Party member with the Frog Splash. After the bout, Rey helps up Metalik and the two celebrate their match together. Fans are then informed tonight we'll see a 10-man tag match between the OC, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode versus Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins, the Viking Raiders and Cedric Alexander. The next matchup of the night is the Triple Threat King of the Ring semi-finals between Samoa Joe, Ricochet and Baron Corbin. All three men vie for the chance to go to the finals at Clash of Champions for the King of the Ring tournament. It's often said that anything can happen in the WWE, and the same applies to triple threat matches as superstars must contend with two opponents. Here, Ricochet seems to have the match in hand, hitting the recoil on Samoa Joe followed by the 630 splash. However, Baron Corbin seizes the moment and throws Ricochet out of the ring, covering Joe for the pin. Shockingly, Baron Corbin wins and is now in the finals. If Chad Gable manages to get through, and he probably will, this would be the only way to get him over with the fans. Next up, it's one-on-one women's action as Natalya goes up against Lacey Evans. Natalya gets her win back from last week, defeating Evans with the sharpshooter. But after that match, it's time for a new episode of Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt talks about Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman, implying they're the reason the Fiend was unleashed. Bray tells Rollins and Strowman they have new friends, but they won't save them from the Fiend. And the main event of Raw, a 10-man tag team match between Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, Cedric Alexander and the Viking Raiders versus AJ Styles, The OC, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. It's an excellent display of all 10 wrestlers' talent and a wild brawl that sees Cedric score the upset win on Styles after he avoids a phenomenal forearm and hits the lumbar check. Stone Cold Steve Austin arrives to celebrate with some Steve Weisers as Raw closes out. But that was a quick recap. What about the good, the bad and the damn right ugly? Let's start off with the good, as number 1, the return of the Rattlesnake. While the ratings won't be in until tomorrow, it's likely Stone Cold's appearance tonight boosted Raw's opening. Austin is still a proven draw, and although contract signings have been done to death, this one served two purposes: hyping Sunday's match at Clash of Champions and laying the groundwork for the 10-man tag match. Even better, neither Seth or Braun attacked each other during the signing, a wrestling trope we've seen far too much of. Number 2, proper promoting. The WWE did a good job promoting the matches on tonight's show, whether it was announcing them ahead of time on social media or announcing them during the show. It's a move Wrestlelamia has argued over the last few months, and it makes sense to give the fans a reason to tune into its weekly television shows. Number 3, a good finish. The WWE is obviously big on Cedric Alexander, as seen by his push over the last few months. Putting Cedric into a match against AJ Styles was about more than putting on an entertaining match, as it helps show Cedric's a rising star and that AJ might have not been able to beat him, thus Anderson and Gallows' interference. Putting Cedric into the main event was another good move for pushing him too, but the best was giving him a tag team win over AJ Styles. Cedric may not fare as well in an eventual one-on-one match, but the WWE has created the possibility of him winning and made him a worthy challenger to a former WWE champion. Number 4, finally using the Viking Raiders. It was great to see the Viking Raiders actually do something more than squash a local tag team of the week. They've definitely done that each week for the past month. Number 5, a useful 10-man tag match. When you have as many stars as the WWE does, it doesn't hurt to run an occasional 10-man match, as it gives the fans something they don't see on a regular basis, it allows undercard stars a chance to get the rub from being with bigger stars, and it builds up tag teams as well. The WWE shouldn't overuse the 10-man match as they've done with 2 out of 3 Falls matches, but when used prudently, it's an effective booking tool. Number 6, the Baron build-up continues. Although fans weren't enthusiastic about Baron Corbin's Universal Championship bid against Seth Rollins, the WWE is apparently still big on pushing Corbin, as seen by his advancing to the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. If Corbin does win the crown, it'll be interesting to see how the fans react to him. More than a few people saw Corbin as finished based on his poor outing against Seth Rollins. However, could this be the momentum he needs to reconnect with the WWE Universe, or will it be a waste of the tournament? Number 7. Can we get more Lucha stuff? There were high hopes for a clash between Lucha legend Rey Mysterio and Lucha star Gran Metalik, but ultimately, they didn't disappoint. The only problem was WWE didn't give it as much time as it deserved. Put this on pay-per-view, give it 20 minutes, and it'd no doubt steal the show. And number 8, Bray Wyatt's hidden message. There was a new episode of Firefly Funhouse this week on Raw, and as always, there were small little details that fans might have missed. During the episode, Rambling Rabbit warned of stranger danger as he saw Braun and Seth with somebody backstage. Bray and his Funhouse companions list who it could have been, including the Texas Rattlesnake Stone Cold Steve Austin, and mentioned how the clock has stopped at 3:16 ever since he stopped by. He hushes them all up. Bray then offers to fix the clock and bashes it with a hammer, which leads the clock turning to 11:19. But what's the significance? Some have suggested that Bray will do something big at the Survivor Series, which will be held in November this year, 11 being the month and 19 being the year. It could also be referencing another Bible verse similar to Stone Cold's most famous phrase, Austin 3:16 says I just whipped your ass, but this one being 11:19 Ezekiel, which mentions, I will give them an undivided heart and put a new spirit in them. I will remove from their heart of stone and give them the heart of flesh. Or it could be Matthew 11:19, which reads, the Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, here is a glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners, but wisdom is proved right by her deeds. Is there a connection? Well, many believe it's a reference to The Undertaker, who debuted for the first time in WWE on 11th November 1990. No, this wasn't his first televised appearance at the Survivor Series as part of Ted DiBiase's $1 Million Team. This was his appearance on WWF Superstars as Kane the Undertaker that was pre-taped before the pay-per-view and only shown after. We love these kind of messages, and it only brings more intrigue as to whether The Fiend is ready to take on The Undertaker. He could even end The Undertaker where he started, at the Survivor Series. That was the good. What about the bad? As number 1, Samoa Jobber. While most fans suspect Samoa Joe wasn't going to win the King of the Ring, his performance ending at round 3 only reinforced his image as a talented player who can only get so far in the WWE. Whether it's repeated failures to win world championships, or his all too short US championship reign, Joe has clearly gone as far as he can in the WWE. It's a shameful waste of an excellent talent, but it's also a reminder of the limited opportunities in today's overcrowded WWE. Number 2. Ricochet Rebound. Ricochet's loss tonight was disappointing, especially in light of how well Ricochet has been doing since his main roster debut. It's too early to say whether his career is going through a momentary lull or whether this is a bad sign for the man many predicted would become King of the Ring. But that was the good. The bad? What about the damn right ugly? As number 1, Stone Cold finally drops a beer. No, we're just kidding. We don't think anything could have been considered as being that ugly on this episode of Raw. But what did you guys think? What were your opinions of Raw? What's your theory behind Bray Wyatt's message? Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.